Hello, one and all. It's my view of My Hero Academia, Chapter 338, The Story of How We All Became Heroes, Part 1. And God above, I absolutely freaking love how serious Deku has become. I mean, even as he's being crushed to death, he still manages to retain this very serious expression on his face. He has truly become a man. I mean, the last time he was almost crushed to death by this girl, he had a mini panic attack. Well, not so mini, he had a full-blown panic attack. Though, the Deku of the beginning of the series, Deku at the start of the series, was very, very prone to panic attacks when dealing with girls. I mean, let's never forget the first time he tried talking to Uraka. He didn't really say anything, but he was still so proud of himself for having a conversation with a girl. Second time he saved her life, that was cool. And then third time, he tried to thank her for giving him her points, and he barely even uttered out a single word. He's like, thank you for back then. Oh, Deku, you've grown so much, you've become a man, a very, very serious man, and everyone in the class has also become incredibly, overwhelmingly serious. I mean, seriously, this panel seems like it should be in a spin-off series where everyone in Class 1A is actually a villain. I mean, they are all so just overwhelmingly filled with hate and anger. I love it. Oh my god, I love it. And it certainly makes sense at this point. I mean, let's never forget, they were there on Ground Zero, when Shigaraki, did his first attack, when Shigaraki, had Gigantomachia just destroy everything in his path. They were there, they were the ones that had to clean up all the dust and debris, they had to clean up the corpses, they had to deal with people who had lost everything, who had lost their loved ones, and, they firsthand witnessed all of that pain and suffering. And then after that, they had to witness Deku, who had gone through so much pain, so much agony, because of the weight that had been put on his shoulders, because of the weight of having to battle All For One. And now, Ayama was the final straw. It was the thing that broke the camel's back. They've seen their friend, their classmate. They've realized how much he's been suffering, how much he's been in pain since they first met him, and they are just so angry at All For One for causing their friends so much pain, so much suffering, and now they're ready. They are ready to freaking murder that man. They are ready to eliminate this evil from the world once and for all. Huzzah! And of course, I am seeing a lot of people complaining online, oh, they shouldn't have forgiven Ayama so easily. I mean, he is a villain. He did all these awful, terrible things. He almost got them killed time and time again. But, it doesn't make a lot of sense. These are freaking heroes in training. They want to reach out and save as many people as they can. They want to protect the world, protect their fellow citizens. And for them, learning that their classmate was in so much pain for so long, and they were blind to it, they didn't see it, they weren't able to help him, that is a blow to their pride. That is a blow to their very identity as heroes, and they want to make it right. They want to save him. They want to save Ayama. And of course, I do love Detective saying, yeah, I'm sorry to break this to you, but that's not how laws work. You can't just forgive this guy who has broken so very, very many laws and has, helped the world's worst terrorist murder so very many people. He is going to jail. Obviously, he's going to jail. Yeah, obviously that is way, way more likely. But Deku brings up a very good point. Ayama is the only one who can actually get in contact with All For One, the only person All For One might actually believe, and the only person who can lead All For One into a trap, lead All For One into a battle on their terms, where they can have all the heroes ready and waiting to take him down. I mean, even if All For One knows it's a trap, he could still, come there. He can still decide, alright, this is it. Let's do this here and now. Let's just finish things up. Of course, that doesn't mean they've entirely forgiven him, and Bakugo still wants to punch him about 5 times with a super explosion blast to make things, right between them, but it's a good plan. It's a good plan. Except for the fact that All For One apparently can see through lies. I guess it means he has a quirk that lets him, basically serve as a lie detector, so he knows when people around him are lying, which, yeah, that seems like a very, very useful quirk when you're trying to take over the entire world. Knowing who's being truthful, knowing who's deceiving you, that's important. That is definitely, definitely important. Thankfully, though, Aizawa's been in this meeting, too, on a FaceTime, on a Zoom call, which is... honestly, I just find it so absolutely hilarious. President Mike has been holding up Aizawa this entire time so he can be part of this conversation. Oh, that's amazing. That's so amazing. And Aizawa, he is a hero too. He wants to reach out. He wants to protect those who are in his reach. And he did not protect Ayama. He was unaware of the pain Ayama was going through, and he blames himself for that. So he wants to make things right. And as he says, I still have no intentions of expelling you. Oh, I love it. I love it. And then he orders them to put earbuds on Ayama's whole family before he explains his plan, which, it seems to be an interesting plan. They all seem to be, quite surprised about it. And there's something that really caught my eye here when I was reading this chapter. All Might says, it all depends on him. Now, who exactly him is definitely ambiguous here. I mean, first time I read this, I assumed that was talking about Ayama. Is he going to be able to, trick All For One? Is he going to be able to lead All For One to where he needs to go? But I think it might be something entirely different here. What if the him they're referring to is Overhaul? I mean, where exactly is Overhaul? He had the whole conversation with Deku about how, Deku would make sure that he could go see the boss again if he makes things right with Eri, if he apologizes properly to her. So could this be, him making things right with Eri, him making things right with the Hero Society? They basically need to recruit Overhaul to their side to take down Shigaraki. I mean, oh god above. Eri, meeting with Overhaul, Eri actually fixing his arms so they could use him to take down Shigaraki. Oh, that would be amazing and heartbreaking and just fan fiction level amazement to me. Fan fiction level amazement. I would so love to see that. But again, this him could also be referring to Deku or Ayama or Stain or literally anyone else. And then Ayama's brought to Central Hospital to investigate him because, there's still a fairly good chance there was a bomb planted inside of him that just hasn't gone off yet. They need to, really make sure that All For One doesn't have anything else up his sleeve. Any other way to use Ayama. And that's a big point I'm seeing a lot of people arguing about online. And I think the reason why, he didn't booby trap Ayama is because it just wasn't really worth it for him. Ayama wasn't, this big, high-valued spy. He was a toy. He was something for All For One to play with, mess around with, maybe get some useful information out of. I mean, I don't even think All For One really ordered Ayama to go to UA. It just happened to be a happy coincidence because, All For One has so very, very many spies out there in the world. And there was no real reason to booby trap every single one of them, so that's why Ayama, doesn't have a bomb inside of him. And then Deku need to decide, okay, it's time. We need to upgrade our hero uniforms. Especially Deku, because I'm fairly certain whatever was left of his hero outfit was burned. I think it smelled so badly they literally had to burn it once he got back, which, that makes a lot of sense. It makes a lot of sense. And now, he can actually get a full hero outfit, a full hero uniform that actually adheres to all of his various new quirks and abilities and powers and whatever it is he's capable of doing. And I'm so excited to see exactly what this girl is going to do to his new uniform. Come on, Deku, let's see. What does your final outfit in this series truly look like? Time to go plus ultra. And speaking of finality, Horikoshi said in a recent interview that if all goes well, this series will be done by this time next year. Yeah, Horikoshi, sure it will. I mean, I think anyone who's ever been involved in a long-term project knows there are delays. There are things that you think are going to take you a week, but end up taking you many, many months to accomplish. And seriously, let's take a minute to think about everything that Horikoshi still needs to wrap up in this series. We still need to have Uraraka versus Toga, Kirishima and Mina versus Gigantomachia, Dabi versus Shoto, Endeavor and Hawks, Bako and Deku versus Shigaraki, and I guess Deku's gonna find a way to save Shigaraki, and then he and Shigaraki will team up to stop All For One in the Quirk Realm. And like I said before, I definitely think we need some closure on the whole Eri and Overhaul thing, and just so many other plot lines this series still needs to freaking wrap up. I don't think there's any way for them to actually do that in 50 chapters. I think it's way more likely the series will be done, this time 2 years from now. So I'm thinking it's going to be more like 75 to 100 more chapters rather than 50. But that's my own thoughts. Please link all down below. How many more chapters do you think are going to be left of the series? What exactly is their big plan to trick All For One? Who is the him they refer to? Is Ayama? Is it Stain? Oh, right, Stain. We still need to have some sort of resolution with Stain, and I guess Spinner as well. I mean, what exactly is Spinner's arc in this series? It feels like he's going against All For One, like he wants to save and protect Shigaraki more than he wants to help conquer the whole world. So I definitely think there's going to be something involved with that. I'm just not sure what quite yet. What kind of upgrades do you think Deku's going to get for his new hero outfit? And just what exactly is going to happen next? Please leave it all down below. Be sure to like and subscribe. See you in the next video. And until then, peace!